Damos la bienvenida al profesor Shen a la Academia Colombiana de Ciencias Económicas. Un saludo desde la Academia misma, desde la Asociación de Economistas de la Universidad Nacional y de la Academia Joven de la Academia de Ciencias Económicas. Quiero destacar algunos aspectos importantes para nuestros asistentes presenciales y virtuales. El doctor Bin ha sido y es supervisor del doctorado de la Facultad de Administración de Empresas de la Universidad de Donghua. Y también quiero destacar varios aspectos de su gran producción académica e intelectual. Destacar, en primer lugar, los criterios fundamentales de su enfoque intelectual. Primero, el tema que se llama el SGEGS, que significa los controles ambientales, sociales y de gobernanza que deben tenerse en cuenta para la conducción de un proceso administrativo. Y por otro lado, el estudio importante de cadenas de suministro y desarrollo sostenible. No es suficiente la provisión, es importante el desarrollo sostenible de estos procesos de la administración. Segundo, el profesor ha liderado grandes proyectos en China. Primero, en el Fondo Nacional de Ciencias Sociales. Segundo, la Fundación Nacional de Ciencias Naturales. Es decir, dos componentes vitales en el proceso de cualquier nación, el aspecto social y el aspecto natural. Pero también ha tenido aportes teóricos y teórico-prácticos, que es lo importante de las academias. En primer lugar, el tema de la transformación colaborativa de la industrialización digital y en segundo lugar, la digitalización industrial en el nuevo modelo de China digital. Pero además, y es muy importante destacar, las estrategias operativas de las cadenas de suministro han creado unas condiciones importantes en el aprendizaje social y utilizando especialmente las redes sociales, que generan naturalmente opiniones, pero que generan también orientaciones para los empresarios y para los consumidores y para el Estado. Las redes sociales son un apoyo importante en la medida en que se orienten apropiadamente. Pero también, y quería con esto terminar la presentación del profesor, ha tenido reconocimientos importantes, como ser el académico chino altamente citado como científico global en el 2% superior de la China. De manera que es un ámbito de gran interés para nosotros poder compartir con el profesor sus experiencias, su teoría y sobre todo ese ámbito de la teoría y de la práctica. Y además es experto docente de Shanghái. Bienvenido, profesor Chen Bin, a nuestra academia.
It is an honor to having you here in the academy, and for us here in the National Economic Science scenario, for us it's very important to have these dialogues, especially to have a diverse theoretical background, but also to share with the new generations different kind of experiences, especially from China, that is having a huge impact in different types of technologies and industrial development. So for us, it is an honor to having you here on behalf of the academy, but also from different economic scientists. For us, it is a real pleasure to having you here. And with this, I would like to give you the floor to have your presentation. And at the end, I will make some highlights in Spanish for our public so they can have the final messages clear.
Okay, thank you, Tatiana. Thank you, Professor Martínez. Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. I'm so pleased to visit ACCE. It's my great honor Thank you for Professor Martínez and Professor Tatiana to organize this. So today I'm going to talk about China-Colombia dialogue on digital supply chain AI and sustainable development.
Next, please.
Okay, so I want to introduce myself. My name is Shen. I work in Donghua University in Shanghai. Why I'm in Colombia, Bogota? Because I'm now is the adjunct professor in Universidad de Los Andes in Bogota. So I'm from Shanghai. I work and live in Shanghai, but originally I'm from a beautiful city. It's called Hangzhou. It's a 1 hour train from Shanghai. So my research interest is about the AI, digitalization, China's supply chain transformation, and ESG. Okay, so we have 3 years ago, which was my first time to visit Bogota in University of Los Andes. So afterwards, we start to collaborate together. So in 2024, we have the first group of executive MBA students from the Los Andes to visit Donghua University. So we have a wonderful week, led the students to visit Chinese company, Chinese university, and some Chinese historical place. And in 2025, which is the second group of executive MBA students from Los Andes to visit us. At that time, the council of the Colombia in Shanghai, he gave us the speech. He is really support for the Colombia students, Colombia entrepreneurs come to China, see how China is going, and then learn something from China. And 3 weeks ago, which is the 8 June 2026, the third group of Los Angeles executive MBA students visit us. So we have worked with Los Angeles for 3 years, and I believe our collaboration will continue and we will work even closer. So this is the picture they visit China. They have been the Volkswagen assembly line in Shanghai. They also have been the Alibaba. They have been the DeepSeek. All those very advanced and top tier Chinese companies. All right. So what is the purpose I'm here? I think I would like to explore a China-Colombia academic dialogue on digital economy, supply chain transformation, artificial intelligence, and sustainable development. So my goal is not to share China's experience, but also to understand Colombia development priorities and jointly identify research and policy questions that are meaningful for both countries. Okay, China and Colombia, they are very far. I took 30-hour flight from China to Colombia. Of course, we don't have the direct flight. Because of this distance, I think most of Colombia people do not understand China. Meanwhile, because of this distance, Chinese people do not understand Colombia. So I think we need a bridge to let both countries understand each other better and to work closer in the future. So you can see this is our currency about the RMB. So the RMB is not just the currency. Actually, it also reflects China's natural landscape and cultural landmarks. However, in the past decade, actually we rarely see the RMB because we don't use the money, because we all use the electronic transfer. For example, we do the Alipay, we do the WeChat. So actually, if you ask me, do you have a cash in your wallet? I'm really sorry, I don't have. So what is the numbers in China? So China now is the world's second largest economics. It shares the 28% global manufacturing output, and they have the 3.6 trillion US dollar merchandise export, which is a global number one. And China has 120 partners, which is the top trade partners. And if we look at the birth rate we got, so from 1949 to 2025, our birth rate is increasing in the beginning 20 or 30 years. Then after that, since 1980, then our birth rate is going down because of we have a special policy. At that time, our resource is not enough, so we launched a special policy. Then in the recent 10 years, unfortunately, our birth rate has dropped significantly. And for the China's economic transformation, actually, we start from the 1978, which is the reform and opening up. And afterwards, you can see our economy is rising significantly. But for each time period, we have a different strategy. For example, when our President Xi took the leadership, then we start the strategy called the Made in China 2025, which means we will push the high technology in our economics. And in 2020, we start a new strategy, which we call the dual circulation. So this is about how we can make the domestic and the international demand to move faster. And recently, which is 2025, we wanted to encourage the AI and the EV leadership in the economics. So you can see China moved from low-cost manufacturing to innovation-driven growth. So this is the picture how we are developed from the light industry to advanced manufacturing. So in 1980s, so our main production is about the textile tools and the low-cost assembly. Then afterwards, our industry is upgrading. So 2010s, we have the smartphone, solar, high-speed rail. And in 2020s, we have the EV cars, batteries, drones, and intelligent manufacturing. So from Made in China 2025, actually we work on the advanced manufacturing. We have the EV batteries, commercial aircraft, high-speed railway, and industrial robots. And then if you ask me what is the next, and I'm pretty sure the robots, the low-altitude economics, AI smart factory, commercial space, and biotech, advanced materials will be the next technology that we wanted to work on. So this is the Made in China 2025, which is launched in 2015. So we have the 10 products that we wanted to focus on. And you can see back to 2025, we launched these 10 product category, but now most of them we are in the leader in global market. And what is the China supply chain advantages? So you can see China edge is not one factor. Actually, it's the combination of ecosystem, infrastructure, data, talents, and speed. So we have more than 3,500 ecosystem database, which include the electronic component tier, then supply ecosystem. And we have the top 7 port and logistics center, which is also top 7 in the world. So it could deliver the products to the global market very quickly and efficiently. And we have an 86% digital integration. For example, the mobile payment penetration, just what I mentioned before. So we all use the digital payment in China, and we also utilize the real-time supply chain data to make our supply chain more efficient. And we have the 8 million skilled workforce, which is graduate from STEM per year. So we have a large pool of engineers. So we have the talents to do the engineering tasks. And I think the last one is the most important advantage for our supply chain. So the last advantage is the speed and the scale. So we can finish products from 4 to 6 weeks, from design to mass production, from rapid product iteration. So China is not just a market. China actually is a market to test the product, to get the upgrading the product, and to receive the feedback. So it provides a market we can try the product, we can quickly finish the product, quickly finish the production, then we can try the market, then we can utilize the advanced product to the global market. So from my point of view, speed and scale actually is the most important advantage for the China's supply chain. Okay, so we just few months ago, we just launched the fifth 5 years plan. So if we compare with the fifth 5 years plan and the fourth 5 years plan, we can see our government really wanted to focus on self-reliance, green growth, and a high-level opening, because we wanted to do these jobs. So I believe we have many opportunities to work with Colombia. So for the key numbers in the fifth 5 years plan from 2026 to 2030s. So number one, we talk about 52 times about AI. So AI will be our key drivers, and we will invest in AI. So AI will be the organization logic. It will connect industry, logistic, governance, and science, and redesign around AI. So second is the digital economics. So now our 20.5% of GDP actually is contributed by digital economics. I searched internet. I'm not sure this number is wrong or correct. In Colombia, the digital economic is 4% of the GDP. So compared with that, actually China is much higher than Colombia, and I believe the digital economy is the future. So we will do the compute first, and the national computing infrastructure and the cloud utilization become very strategic priorities. Number three is the bank loan to tech firms. So the central government will launch 3.6 trillion RMB on the bank loan to the tech firms. Why? Because tech company will be the leading driver for the coming 5 years. So China is building a cheap software cloud data stacks. Number four is the 6G. So 6G will be our next generation network specifically target. I'm really sorry, I haven't been in Colombia for 10 days. I enjoy the internet in Colombia, however, it's relatively slow. I feel not used because in China we have a 5G old everywhere, and everywhere we can download the files, videos very quick. So if we have the 6G or if we have a good 5G, actually your world can be connected and the Internet of Things is possible. Otherwise, then we could not have the good connection with the Internet. We could not have the computing power in the industry. Okay. So for the China's action plan for digital and intelligent supply chain, we will focus on the agriculture supply chain, which is very close to Colombia because you also want to focus on agriculture business, agriculture sectors. So in the agriculture supply chain, we will work on the digital traceability, farm to forks, and the real-time cold chain monitoring, and the demand forecasting for perishables. So all this, I guess, the Colombia also has the space to improve, and I believe we have the space to work together. Second is intelligent manufacturing. So we will utilize AI and Internet of Things to build up the smart factory. And then we will have the real-time inventory and production synergy and the supplier quality data and the tracking. Then we will have the wholesale and B2B integration, retail optimization, and the logistic efficiency. Well, as you can see, China have the railway, fast-speed railway, and a highway, and also the multiple largest ports. So our logistic cost actually is quite low. And in the past 5 years, President Xi really wanted to reduce the logistic cost. So he actually have invested many infrastructure to reduce the logistic rate. However, we all understand the importance of a logistic rate. If we have the low logistics rate, logistic cost, then our business will have a more profit margin. However, this logistics rate actually should supported by the government because this is a huge investment on the infrastructure. All right, so why AI is China number one strategic priority? Because if you look at our demographics, we have the demographic challenge, we have the low birth rate, so we have the huge challenge in our population. So if we can work on the robots and AI, so probably robot and AI could replace partially human labors at scale. And second, we wanted to utilize the AI-driven manufacturing to prove the productivity. And the third, we will have to build up the souvenir AI stacks. It is no choice to compete with US AI. So AI is not option in China. It is China's path to sustain growth, security, and the global competitiveness. So Colombia also faced similar challenge about the aging and the productivity. So AI solution developed for China could transfer to Latin America at a fraction of the cost. I think the difference between China's low cost, we have the low cost, so the China's AI is very cheap and usually they are free. So the AI could be installed in the application or in the machines with very low cost. So this is our advantage, and we also wanted to push our AI, not just like the generative AI using by our citizens. We wanted to use the AI into the industry and then let everyone to enjoy AI in the environment. So China is a global value chain. So we also work on to extend our smile curve. So we used it as the leader in the assembly manufacturing, but now we also wanted to extend our strengths in the assembling key parts, logistic exports, R&D design, and sales branding. So we have a multiple industrial cluster. So this industrial cluster actually help our ecosystem going faster. So in Beijing and the Tianjin corridor, we have the AI aerospace biotech industrial cluster. In Yangtze River Delta, which is the Shanghai region, we have the auto, finance, pharmacy, advanced manufacturing as the industrial cluster. And in Chengdu, in the west part of China, we have the electronics, EV cars as the industrial cluster. And the Pearl River Delta, we have the electronic, smartphone, and contract manufacturing as the industrial cluster. So why industrial cluster matters? Because this could provide the supply density. Then we have the nearby supplier reduce the coordination cost and the logistic cost and lead time. And we also have the specialization because in this region, in this area, we have the deep knowledge about the know-how concentrates in specific industry. And then we could provide a speak to market and also the infrastructure. I think this is a good chapter for Colombia to learn and to build up the industrial cluster. So China's advantage is not just low cost, it is the dense industrial ecosystem. And this ecosystem, I think, is the key for the industrial upgrading. So I think this could be a lesson that the Colombia and China to work together in the future. Okay, so this is the top exports by category from China's export structure. So we have several products, each they are the leaders in the industry. And 5G and the digital infrastructure, as you can see, the China have the 3.38 million investments on the 5G digital intelligence. So actually, this is quite important. So it could provide real-time visibility, smarter factories, autonomous logistics, and faster coordination. So these four perspectives actually are already realized in industry. So we already have the real-time visibility in factory. We already have the smart factory, which using the Internet of Things to monitor by people, and we also have the autonomous logistics, which we the truck driver actually can utilize the self-driving system to finish the job, and all those actually are the contribution are from the contribution of 5G and the digital infrastructure. So I believe the 5G is also the future of Colombia. So in this area, we have a large space to work together. Okay, so now we are in the Industrial 0.4 because we are in the world of a cyber system, Internet of Things, and a network. And if we want to have this, then we have to look at what is the what is the digital supply chain in Industry 0.4. So firstly, we need a technological. So what technology we need? First, we need a sense. Sense means we need the Internet of Things to track goods, machines, vehicles. Then we need the AI to use to forecast demand, risks, and routes. And then we utilize the data. So the data is not small data, it's a large amount of data. Then we probably will use the machine learning or some other technical to detect pattern before disruption. Then we already built up a very advanced blockchain system to verify origin, contracts, and records. Then we connect the cloud platform to share data across partners. So those technology actually we are using to make the digital supply chain work. Then it is how the value is created from the digital supply chain. Because we have the digital supply chain engine, then we will have the good visibility, good planning, good learning, and a good acquisition. So we will from the data to decision, action, and plan. So we have number 3 is we already use such a digital supply chain to fulfill the industry request. So digital supply chain is not just the one technology, actually it's combined with many new technology. It is a sequence like we should have a sense first, then we analyze, make a decision, then we execution, then we learn and get the feedbacks. So the hardest part actually is the digital organizational adoption. All right, so we have the 5 strategic network design decisions in our digital supply chain. Firstly is how many facilities we should invest. Second is how to allocate them. And the third is what capacity. And 4 is what makes serve from where. And number 5 is which product should be stored where. So in terms of this network design, we need to look at the cost, service, speed, flexibility, and risk. So there's no perfect network, but firms actually utilizing the digital supply chain to balance cost, service, speed, flexibility, and the risk depending on the strategy. I wanted to share 3 academic articles about the digital supply chain, the benefits of digital supply chain. So the supply chain actually drive about 60% for global carbon emission. So the digital supply chain is a high leverage level for sustainability, resilience, and transformation. So based on 3 articles published in the Goods Journal, they show actually the digital supply chain could improve the carbon emission efficiency, could improve the supply chain security, could improve the green transformation. So why we don't take the digital supply chain as the strategy in Colombia and push the carbon intensity reduction, improve the resilience, and accelerate green upgrading? I think this will be the great idea for the next generation of industrialization. All right. So lastly, I want to share the opportunity that the Chinese the Chinese academic is providing. So actually, we are providing 2 scholarships for the Colombia academic scholars. So we welcome the academic scholars in Colombia to apply with us and study in China, work in China, live in China, feel in China, and also get experience in China and eventually work with China. And we wanted to work with you all. I think this is the slides I wanted to share with you. And thank you so much. Gracias.
Bueno, muchas gracias, profesor. Sería importante que la profesora nos hiciera un resumen breve de la presentación para nuestros oyentes y para nuestra grabación de esta clase que se va a reproducir en varias universidades y en varias academias.
Bueno, gracias. Thank you very much for this insightful presentation. I will summarize some of the key points in Spanish. Bueno, creo que hay 5 puntos importantes. Que si pueden poner la primera página de las diapositivas, por favor. La primera slide. Eso, perfecto. Muchas gracias. El primero es que el profesor Shen nos invita a que tomemos como un diálogo que no termina aquí, sino que más bien inicia y que es como una apertura a que pensemos estos temas que son importantes para China, pero que también implican todo un desarrollo económico para otros países, entre ellos Colombia, y que la idea es generar puentes de comunicación para que luego de esta presentación podamos seguir colaborando y generando articulaciones y sinergias. El segundo punto es enuncia de manera muy rápida. Si quieren pasemos a la tercera. Siguiente. Thank you. Este punto de aquí que me parece muy clave, que es cómo se ha dado ese cambio en términos del modelo, pero también de las prioridades económicas de China. Entonces, el modelo Made in China en 2025, luego cómo pasan a una circulación dual y una estrategia resiliente para en 2025 lanzar una estrategia que es la inteligencia artificial y el liderazgo en los temas de transición energética y específicamente los vehículos eléctricos como un punto clave allí. Y luego esta transformación que va desde los años 80 en la industria textil y en la industria de la manufactura ligera, pasando en los años 90 hacia otra nueva construcción y luego como en el nuevo siglo, en el siglo XXI, ha ido transformándose para que en la última parte, que es la década de los 20, desde 2020, se enfoquen en vehículos eléctricos, drones, baterías y lo que ellos llaman manufactura inteligente, que son procesos productivos que ya están completamente integrados a un proceso automático y que de esta manera generan toda una serie de desarrollo económico. Y aquí énfasis frente al tema de las nuevas tecnologías y cómo esas tecnologías están al servicio o están a las capacidades de diferentes industrias, entre ellos los vehículos eléctricos, los trenes de alta velocidad y lo que ellos llaman industrial robotics, que son máquinas que producen de manera masiva. Y aquí cómo se cumplieron en estos 10 años estos sectores estratégicos en los cuales el profesor Shen resalta que China se propuso estos 10 temas en los cuales iba a generar liderazgo en las industrias y en los cuales hoy por hoy China ya tiene liderazgo mundial. Y luego habla acerca de cómo hay unos habilitantes. Esos habilitantes están relacionados con 5 características estructurales en las cuales China hoy tiene un ecosistema profundo en términos de diferentes industrias, pero también una logística portuaria en la cual es importante cómo ha automatizado también esos procesos logísticos, un 86% de integración digital. Miraba algunas cifras para Colombia que estamos en un proceso de transformación digital y que esa integración digital es uno de los puntos en los cuales podríamos trabajar conjuntamente. Una mano de obra calificada y formada, especialmente en temas de ingeniería, y una rapidez o una escala mucho más rápida que él llama de 4 a 6 semanas en diseño y producción masiva. Luego el profesor Shen nos habla de un punto muy importante que es el plan de quinquenal que fue aprobado el pasado marzo en China y que hoy por hoy nos implica también una nueva carta de navegación de relacionamiento y empoderamiento de las relaciones entre China y Colombia, en la cual hay 8 prioridades en términos actuales y que aquí hay pues 3 puntos claves que son self-reliance, que es la no dependencia de externos, green growth, que implica un crecimiento económico que piensa también en ser sostenible, en high level opening es que se puedan dar diferentes tipos de interacciones y cómo este desarrollo portuario y este desarrollo de logística implica también que el resto de los países también puedan estar al mismo nivel. Y algunos puntos estratégicos frente al plan quinquenal que el profesor nos resalta muy rápidamente. Voy a ir solamente a hablar de estos, que son cadenas de suministro agrícola, manufactura inteligente, la integración de los mercados a través de las plataformas o de los sistemas B2B, la optimización de los sistemas del minoreo y la eficiencia logística, que implica también pensarse no solamente desde el punto de vista de la infraestructura, sino la automatización de procesos y digitalización de procesos de logística a lo largo de los trayectos tanto nacionales como internacionales. Y pues, ¿por qué pensar en China? Y aquí pues algunos desafíos que tenemos en Colombia es cómo podemos transformar y utilizar mucho más la inteligencia artificial. Solamente quisiera cerrar con un mensaje que deja el profesor Shen y es la inteligencia artificial y los desarrollos en términos prácticos de China, en los cuales la inteligencia artificial china es gratuita y es de acceso amplio y eso para nosotros debe ser una oportunidad de pensarnos qué procesos podemos automatizar y aprovechar estas oportunidades de una inteligencia artificial que está al servicio del mundo y al servicio de Colombia también. Y nos mostraba un mapa muy interesante, que es este de los clústeres industriales, donde están enfocados esos clústeres industriales y esos corredores. Y pues personalmente me llama la atención algo, que es que ya están en diferentes puntos de China, no solo en la costa sur. I was saying that for me it's very interesting in the industrial clusters that are now around China and not just in the southeast coast. So China has already integrated the whole territory to the industrial system.
This is the most representable industrial cluster. However, actually, in the individual city, even a town, they have a special industrial cluster. For example, they have a town which is mainly produce socks. They have a town mainly to produce pants, torts. So this four actually is the most advanced and density industrial cluster. But actually, we have hundreds industrial cluster in terms of different products.
That shows that the going west policies that were implemented took success and make that China can territorially have an ecosystem very well addressed in terms of industries. Lo que le está comentando al profesor es que ya China logra integrar todo su territorio, que ese es uno de los desafíos que tenemos en Colombia, y es que efectivamente no sean solamente tejidos desconectados en términos empresariales, que están algunos en Antioquia, algunos en el Valle del Cauca, una concentración grande en Bogotá, sino que China ya ha logrado generar unos clústeres en todo el país. Y comentaba el profesor que hay ciudades que se dedican a producir medias, hay ciudades que se dedican a producir esferos, hay ciudades que se dedican a producir diferentes tipos de bienes y que se integran, que estos 4 que se muestran en la diapositiva son los clústeres más avanzados, pero que luego todo el país está integrado con otro tipo de productos que también están insertados a tejidos y ecosistemas industriales. Y finalmente, pues hace una invitación, bueno, esto es súper importante, que son tecnologías que crean valor. Entonces, el Internet de las cosas, la inteligencia artificial, los grandes conjuntos de datos, cómo se generan a través de ellos modelos de machine learning o de inteligencia que aprende a partir de esos algoritmos y cómo se conectan a través de diferentes tipos de plataformas. Y en algunos casos, pues, ¿dónde están esos cuellos de botella? En sistemas más antiguos, en la seguridad de los datos, en los costos, en las habilidades de quienes están desarrollando y alguna resistencia por parte de personas que no se adaptan rápidamente a esos cambios. Esto también, pues, creo que resuena mucho con nosotros porque tenemos algunos sistemas de información que tienen que ser actualizados a nivel de diferentes industrias y tecnologías y que seguramente también estamos en esta misma lógica de cambio y transformación, seguramente con un ritmo un poco más lento que lo que hoy China nos está representando, pero esto también nos deja algunas lecciones de hacia dónde deberíamos estar encaminando las conversaciones en términos del desarrollo tecnológico del país. Y finalmente, pues, algunas invitaciones que hace el profesor a colaborar y a poder tener algunas formas de aplicar a unas becas y de colaboraciones que están soportadas por diferentes fondos en China, y que aquí la invitación es que los académicos colombianos están pues muy invitados a participar, a aplicar, a presentar y a unirse a esas diferentes convocatorias que hoy el gobierno chino tiene abiertas para diferentes nacionalidades, incluidas la nuestra.
Explicación de la presentación del profesor. Yo quiero resaltar algunos aspectos que tienen que ver con la presentación, y es la contribución de la transformación colaborativa de la industrialización digital. Aquí se crea un escenario muy importante para Colombia. No se trata de copiar un modelo que no podemos copiar, sino de participar colaborativamente con el avance que China ha tenido. Casi siempre nos han prohibido tener comunicaciones con Asia. Los economistas conocemos lo que ocurre en la zona anglosajona, pero no conocemos lo que ocurre en el Asia. Y esta presentación que hoy se hace, al contrario, nos llama la atención de que la experiencia china, si no se puede repetir plenamente, sí hay unas formas de interpretar cómo su experiencia fue tan importante. Por ejemplo, la no dependencia tecnológica. Por ejemplo, en una primera etapa, tener la necesidad de la copia tecnológica, pero han avanzado tanto que hoy no dependen de esta condición. Normalmente la industrialización de los Estados Unidos han ido a buscar mano de obra barata en una primera etapa en China, pero hoy van a buscar fundamentalmente grandes avances tecnológicos. ¿Cómo así que Estados Unidos puede hacer ese ejercicio y nosotros en América Latina no lo podemos hacer? Entonces, me parece que esta presentación nos llama la atención sobre el tema de la industrialización digital por un lado y la digitalización industrial en el nuevo modelo chino. China entendió en su momento que también hay una brecha entre el campo y la ciudad. Y un factor que ha hecho que la gente tenga mejores condiciones de ingresos ha sido la innovación tecnológica. Y este sería un ámbito muy importante para Colombia, cuando dos países como China y Colombia tienen problemas de seguridad alimentaria. Muy importante sería que en esas condiciones pudiéramos tener ámbitos de cooperación. Ni Colombia puede seguir dependiendo de las importaciones de alimentos, ni China tampoco, y en ese ámbito es un interés común. De manera que hoy la presentación que ha hecho el profesor es un llamado a la academia para que la academia no solamente haga ejercicios teóricos, especulativos, muy importantes lo son, sino la necesidad de que la academia esté al servicio de lo social y de lo sostenible y de manera apropiada con el vínculo empresarial también. Tal vez, para terminar esta observación, me parece muy importante, por ejemplo, conocer que en el plan quinquenal número 15 de este año queda claro de que la política económica la fija el partido, pero la fija el Estado en el ámbito de los planes quinquenales. Hay empresas privadas, tienen toda la opción, hay competitividad entre empresas, pero la política se fija a partir de los intereses colectivos y los intereses de Estado. En esas condiciones el empresario puede tener todo el ejercicio de competitividad, pero ajustándose al plan quinquenal de desarrollo. China no depende de los impuestos solamente para su política estatal. China depende también de sus empresas estatales. Nosotros no podemos en Colombia seguir dependiendo de los impuestos, que generalmente hay mucha evasión, sino también de un fortalecimiento significativo de las empresas estatales. Quería decir eso, profesora, si le quiere traducir.
Sí, porque es que suena muy duro. So the first question is on the digitalization of the industry in China. What have been the main difficulties and how you have been figuring out? If you can give an example of a sector or something that comes to your mind with this. And the second is that what are the main challenges in the agricultural sector to implement technologies and digitalization of processes? And there is one another question on if the digitalization in industries have affected the employment levels in China. That these are the questions.
Okay, for the first question, what is the challenge of using the digitalization, and what is the barriers that we use the digitalization to address the real problem? Actually, no one knows how to use the digitalization, how to use the advanced technology. We are also learning, and we are taking lessons. We always doing the bad jobs that we learn. But this is a good lesson, and we wanted to learn and to grow up, to give the feedbacks and help the rest of the country, rest of the world to use the digital technology, which you will not face the same problem with us in the past. So we hope we can give the lesson to the world that we have, based on our experience, based on our feelings. And for the second question is
on the agricultural technologies.
So agriculture business in China actually is based on the small farmer business. It's different from some countries. So our farmers are very small. It's based on the family, based on the small companies. We don't have so many large-scale agriculture companies. So based on the small farmer business, so the resource, capital, knowledge, they are all very limited. So we actually wanted to utilize the new technology to try the advantage of that technology knowledge in the supply chain, in the agriculture supply chain. The good side from us is the government actually really wanted to help. So they actually provide some subsidies, some technology support to the small farmers. So we have some scheme that asked our professors in university, ask the technological company to the small farmers to help them. I think this is the good side that government have done to improve the agriculture business.
And the final question is on the digitalization of industry and the employment in China. If you have some ideas on that.
So everybody will argue if we have AI, if we use AI, can AI replace people? If AI can replace people, then employment will be dropped. So everybody have the debate, no matter it's in China, no matter it's in US, everywhere. I have a different opinion. So if we use the digital technology, if we use the AI, actually our productivity can be increased. And then we will create more business. Because we create more business, then we need more people, more employees. So the new technology in the very short term, you will see probably it will reduce the employment rate. However, in the long term, if we can better utilize the technology, then our business, our productivity will be expanded. Then we will have a more larger size of employment. Yeah.
Okay, so those were the questions. The other were comments saying that congratulations, such a wonderful and interesting presentation.
Thank you, thank you.
Some comments.
Thank you so much.
No sé si haya preguntas virtuales o presenciales para...
Morning, teacher. The question, si hay control de calidad cuando se produce un artículo, porque según entiendo, hay varias clasificaciones cuando se produce un producto, AAA, A y B. Entonces, según de acuerdo a la clasificación del producto, es la calidad de este. Okay.
So, do you remind me your name? ¿Tu nombre es?
Héctor.
Hector was asking on the quality of products in China, because we have heard here in Colombia that there are products AAA, like very well done, the best, highest quality, and then there are lowest qualities. It depends on the price the customer wants to pay. So if there are like a classification, or how do you define how the prices and the qualities are set? That's the question.
Just what a gentleman mentioned. So if the customer willing to pay, then you can get the high quality products. If the customer are not willing to pay very little, of course the quality is bad. But from China perspective, in the past, we are just able to produce low quality products, but now we can produce the high quality products. So you can see recently the most advanced products actually are made in China. For example, our EV car is much advanced than the US EV car. So we actually are able to produce high quality products if the consumer can accept the price. Okay? Yeah.
El profesor dice que sí, que es realmente un emparejamiento entre el precio que está dispuesto a pagar el consumidor y la calidad. Que en el pasado China producía bienes que eran más de baja calidad, hoy por hoy pueden tener de alta calidad y bajo precio, como es el caso de los vehículos eléctricos, que a pesar de estar en un precio muy competitivo en los mercados, tienen la misma calidad que los vehículos eléctricos de otros competidores. Y que depende realmente una relación entre la demanda y el precio que está dispuesto a pagar el consumidor por el bien.
Bueno, aquí hay una pregunta de Toronto, Canadá. En el proceso de digitalización de la industrialización en China, ¿cuáles han sido las dificultades enfrentadas y cómo se han sorteado por sector? Pregunta la economista María Teresa Páez de la Universidad Nacional.
So, different industries, the difficulties you have already mentioned, but if you have any example of a sector or an industry that have overcome difficulties with the digitalization of industries.
Okay, so for example, the textile and apparel industry, which is the labor-intensive industry, because we need a lot of people in the workflow. So in this industry, transformation of digitalization actually is difficult because we need to think about how we can utilize the machine to have the better productivity. In the meantime, we can utilize the strength of a human being to improve the quality of a products. So in China, actually, we have a large scale of textile and apparel companies, factories. So in the past 10 years, actually, they met a lot of challenges. How they can utilize the digital technology to improve the productivity. And as I can imagine, if we wanted to use the digitalization in industry, originally the industry has less people, then transformation could be easy. But if the industry is labor intensive, then the transformation is always difficult.
Bueno, hay otra pregunta también de la profesora María Teresa Páez. La digitalización de la industria, ¿cómo ha afectado los niveles de empleo en China?
Ese ya lo vimos,
Sí.
profe. Sí, señor.
Sí. Bueno, pero
Sí. Frente a ese tema, profesor, the employment question that is coming again. So I just want to summarize what you already mentioned. Frente al tema del desempleo, lo que dice el profesor Shen es que en este punto las industrias han venido ya desarrollando otras industrias y en ese sentido el empleo se ha ido transformando. No es que estos empleos se desaparezcan, sino que transforman las ocupaciones porque surgen nuevos negocios y esos nuevos negocios tienen necesidad también de generar otros empleados en la industria. Entonces él lo plantea desde la experiencia china, desde la transformación de los empleos, no de la desaparición, transformation of the jobs, not drop.
sí, pero es muy importante repetir esa pregunta porque es la pregunta más frecuente que se formula en todos los ámbitos cuando hablamos de digitalización. Porque, y además es un ámbito que a veces genera una presión social muy grande. Entonces me parece que era importante reiterarla y también responderla como lo ha hecho. Efectivamente, cuando hay una modificación de este carácter, hay nuevos ajustes que la gente se relocaliza, incluso se relocaliza con mejores condiciones. Entonces, eso es muy importante tomarlo en cuenta. Tiene la palabra.
Thank you. Good morning, teacher Chin Bin. In your opinion, I feel nervous. In what your opinion, what will be is will be the first steps for the produced integration territorial in Colombia. What is your opinion about this?
So,
Sorry.
what do you think is the first step a country might take if they want to create a territorial ecosystem for industries?
Yeah.
In the case of Colombia, that is
I think infrastructure should go first, because if we want to do the digitalization, so we should have the good 5G system to make sure the data transfer is quick enough. Otherwise, actually, this digitalization cannot work very well. So I think the infrastructure should go first. But if you want to ask me who will pay for the infrastructure, I don't think the individual company can pay, because this is too expensive. So if we put something in front of the infrastructure, then I guess it's a policy support. So we need a policy support, then we could have the good infrastructure. So in my opinion, the policy support will go first, then we will have the infrastructure. If we have the infrastructure, I believe the ecosystem can be built within this infrastructure.
Lo que mencionó el profesor es que el primer paso es que exista una infraestructura que soporte todo el desarrollo logístico, y que el primer paso claramente es generar unas políticas de desarrollo de infraestructura que permitan que estas cadenas de logística se hagan mucho más eficientes y rápidas.
Aquí. Bueno, hay otra pregunta. Bueno, yo quiero hacer una pregunta final, tal vez, si no aparecen nuevas. En economía a veces se trata el tema de ventajas comparativas, ventajas competitivas, más en relación con los insumos que se emplean y la forma de producirlos. Sin embargo, casi nunca se estudia el tema de la logística de manera significativa, especialmente por los economistas. Entonces, la pregunta es, ¿de qué manera la logística impacta los costos y, en consecuencia, la competitividad?
So, Professor Martínez wants to know what is your opinion on the cost of logistics in the efficiency of a production chain, and just to stress on that point, because economists mainly think on the cost of the product and the capital and how you have workers, the labor, but not paying attention to logistics. And it comes to his attention that in your presentation you stress some points on logistics and how China has been successfully to achieve a good chain of logistics. So some insights on that point from your perspective.
Okay, so logistics can related to cost and the speed. So if we have the infrastructure of logistics, so the logistic cost can be lower, and of course the company really want to have the lower cost, because if they pay 20 or 30% logistic costs in terms of the profit, they are not happy. And then in China, this logistic cost can be very low, lower than 5% of the whole revenue. So logistic cost is a small portion of the revenue, then it's good for company. So the first point is the logistic is related to cost. But I guess the second point is more important. Logistic is related to speed. So what is the value of a speed? The value of speed means if we can provide the product to the consumer as quick as we can. For example, if we can deliver the product when we order, and after a few hours we can receive, just like the rapid the fast food delivery, but the distance is not from the restaurant next door, and here the distance, for example, is Medellin to Bogota. It takes like a half day. If the logistics speed is like this, then I guess the efficiency will be improved. But how comes we can make sure the logistics from one city to another, which takes half day? This is based on the infrastructure again. So I guess the logistics can relate it to speed and the cost. And actually, I think the speed is more than important cost. And if we have the speed, if we have the speedy logistics, then our business efficiency will be improved. Then our moving will be quicker. Then the company will get the benefit. So I really encourage in the future we could collaborate together with Colombia to improve the logistics. And as you can see, the metro in Bogota is the one important project. Help people to move one place to another quicker than before. So this is one part of the logistics. And then you also pay less. Then, as I mentioned, logistics matters cost and speed. And this is the first project. And I wish we could have coming new projects in terms of the highway, railway, ports. Then the efficiency of Colombia can be improved significantly.
Bueno, tal vez ahora sí la última pregunta para terminar es ¿cuál es el aporte que podríamos tener en Colombia o en América Latina de la iniciativa de la Franja y la Ruta? Es decir, porque ya es un aspecto más amplio del tema que queremos trabajar de logística.
So, Professor Martínez say that we cannot finish this talk without talking about Belt and Road, because logistics is a very key point, as you mentioned, and how we can work out together to build some initiatives in this framework that is good for both countries, and that is a way how we can also address our challenges of infrastructure in the country. So your insights on Belt and Road and the relationship between Colombia and China.
One Belt One Road is a strategy that we work with the overseas partners. I think one important philosophy in China, and of course this is the core philosophy that President Xi has, is as follows. So we wanted to work with our partners, and we want to grow up with our partner together. So we are not going to grow up by ourselves, and you don't grow up. We hope when we work together, we can get a win-win outcome, and we can grow up together. So we are friends. We have a mutual benefits. We want to grow up together. This is the key for the philosophy of Chinese culture and the Chinese business.
Sí, el profesor dice que el beneficio mutuo y el crecimiento de ambas economías es parte de la filosofía que hace que se genere Belt and Road Initiative, y que ahí hay muchas oportunidades de crecimiento conjunto, y que el desarrollo de Colombia también hace parte del desarrollo de China, porque de esta manera puede haber complementariedad de las economías.
Bueno, muchas gracias, profesor Shen por su visita a la Academia Colombiana de Ciencias Económicas. a la Asociación de Economistas de la Universidad Nacional y la Academia Joven de nuestra Academia General. Creo que este es un gran aporte para el impulso de lo que la academia debe hacer, conocer experiencias de todo el mundo, la pluralidad y el pensamiento crítico como base fundamental del espíritu de lo que Colombia tiene que hacer en el ámbito de América Latina. Muchas gracias, profesor, por venir.
Gracias.